Okay, you guys, so recently Tamera Mowry, who is best known as one half of the twin sisters Tia and Tamera from the late 90s and early 2000s sitcom TV show called Sister Sister, just launched her new reality TV show called Tamera Mowry, My Next Act, and that will be on WeTV. And in this clip of the trailer, Tia reveals that she has been having a difficult time coping with the aftermath of her divorce that she initiated, and she also revealed that her and her sister Tamera are not close like they used to be, so much that she does not feel that she can pick up the phone and call her sister during an emotionally difficult time.
One of the challenging things about going through a divorce with a child is there are times when I do hide my pain. I will put a smile on my face even though I am frustrated, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm just not feeling great. I feel like one of the hardest things that I've had to adapt to is dropping my kids off at their dad's house. I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer. Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
Now, shortly after this was revealed on the trailer that was released, people on social media, of course, were making so many assumptions about why Tia and Tamera were no longer close. So in a rebuttal to the assumptions, Tia released a statement via Us Weekly debunking the idea that her and her sister are not close due to being on bad terms. She tried to clarify that what she meant was that her and her sister are not as close as they used to be because they have their own separate careers and families that they've created and simply don't have a lot of time for each other anymore. Check this out.
Tamera Mowry is shedding more light on her relationship with her sister Tamera Mowry. After a clip from Tia's new docu-series, Tamera Mowry, My Next Act, made headlines when Tia said she wishes she and Tamera were still, quote, close. The 46-year-old is now clarifying her comments and where the twins actually stand. Telling Us Weekly, I feel like as we grow up, we all start our own families and their children need to lean on them. We begin to take on new roles and responsibilities within our lives. That is what that was all about. She continues, in these transitions in life, sometimes you just want a hug and you just want someone to be as accessible as they used to be. And that is not the case. It's called life. And Tia goes on to explain that Tamera doesn't live close by. Even though they both live in California, Tia lives in Los Angeles while Tamera resides in Napa, which is a 6-hour drive between the two cities. Tia ends with, I love my sister very much. She loves me very much. We have a closeness and a beautiful connection. But that's what that was all about. It's just how life unfolds, and it happens with many families.
Now, when people heard this statement released by Tia, people were like, nah, sis. They just weren't believing it. They said, nah, she said what she said. Picking up the phone and calling someone has nothing to do with proximity. Also, Tamera didn't know Tia had a show. She found out with the rest of us.
Tia's returning to reality TV.
I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me. She didn't. So I take that as no.
You're like, then now we're good.
No, she's like, this is my story,
Right.
and I can only respect that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can I ask, are you and Adam trying to set her up on any dates or anything? Are you guys playing Cupid at all?
See, this is the thing. Tia is living her life right now, and Tia is doing Tia. I feel like she doesn't want any of our input right now. And I can only respect that. So I think she is doing her.
You know her better than anybody, so you like, I'm not going.
So I'm respecting that.
In addition to this, other people also said that they did not believe this either. They said, no, I think she meant what she said. She said she can't pick up the phone and call her. And then someone else said, which is it? In the clip, it sounds like they're having problems. Then spinning the story now, saying that what she was saying was they live far from each other. Now, I do understand that siblings or family members don't always live close by each other. Some live in different cities, some even live in different states. However, if you do have a good or decent relationship with them and that you guys are close, you do usually reach out to one another every now and then, frequently, either via Zoom or FaceTime calls or text messages to keep communication going and keep intact. And there has been several examples of when Tia and Tamera did, for some reason, have to be apart for a couple of months at a time, but they still found different ways to keep in contact with each other, even at a distance. So for them to be saying that, oh, the reason why we can't even pick up the phone to speak to each other because of proximity in a distance, that's not really seeming very logical or honest. Check out this clip of when Tia and Tamera went about almost 6 months without being able to see each other because of their schedules. However, Tamera was saying how her and Tia did different little things to make sure that they could keep in contact with each other during that time.
I still haven't seen her physically. No, I
Wait,
haven't.
after 6 months?
No, because I live in Napa, and I recently went down there. Like recently, we were gonna meet up. She's working on family reunion, and the time it didn't work. But I know for a fact when we see each other, we're gonna cry. But what we have been doing is every 2 weeks we Zoom each other, and we have happy hour. So we have a glass of wine. We talk about, what's been happening. I mean, we text almost, every other day, but it's something about visually seeing your loved one. But there's something even better, obviously, just the human connection and touch and hug. And I can't wait to do that.
And then someone else said, Tamera didn't even know about the divorce. She found out through the media. How can she be there for her or treat her like a sister when Tia doesn't communicate? It's been like that since the Tia and Tamera days. Now, in response to that comment, I can definitely agree with that statement because from what I saw on their old reality show that was self-titled Tia and Tamera on E! Network from 2011 to 2013, they had major differences in core beliefs and fundamentals when it came to business, spirituality, parenting styles, and marriage. They just shared very different views and aspects and perspectives in all of those categories in life. Tia is more liberal and free, and Tamera is more conservative and traditional. And there is nothing wrong with people having differences of opinions and views on things because that is what makes the world unique and interesting. And people with differences and opinions on things can definitely get along and have a good relationship. However, sometimes when people, including siblings, have too many differences in core fundamentals and beliefs, it can cause a natural division and rift to occur. And it seems like that has possibly happened between Tia and Tamera.
How come you didn't pick up the phone and talk to me about this then? Like, if you're having an issue or if you want, to make a point, just call me. I think what always seems to be a pattern is our communication difficulties.
Yeah.
I remember we were in Utah and then we were having like that miscommunication thing on Skype. Basically what you're implying is I need to stop working right now so I can spend some more time with my son, correct?
With the life that you're gonna lead right now, you are gonna miss milestones, but now that I know that that's how you wanna live and you're living, I'm fine.
You felt that you were helping me. I felt like it was almost like coming from a judgmental place, but I called you. You just ignored all of my calls, but you shot me an email.
Tia, when you get to a certain point, when you are fired up, you get fired up.
The main thing about my sister and I's communication skills is that we really don't have any.
I can never get a word in edgewise. No, but I just write an email because I know that I can get everything out. I think we get defensive. It escalates into something more than what the argument was really about. We end up yelling at each other.
That's not a good way of communicating. My way is not a good way of communicating, and your way is not a good communicating.
It's not a way of communicating.
It's
not.
not. And we need to find a better way to communicate.
I know.
It seems like you and your sister have a special bond.
Yeah.
I mean, how similar and how different are you two?
We're very different.
Very different, huh?
Yeah.
How so?
My sister's very traditional.
I can be traditional with certain things, but I consider myself almost like the black sheep of the family. I push the envelope a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I kind of go by the beat of my what do you call it?
Beat of your drum?
The beat of my own drum. Where I think my sister just kind of finds comfort in tradition. Whereas me, I'm like, I love tradition. I think it's cool, but I ask questions. But I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why do we have to do this? Who says we have to do that? So I feel like I'm very different, or we're very different in that way, even with our parenting styles. Like she's very traditional. I'm not saying she's narrow-minded at all. I'm just saying I have a very broad perspective on certain things, and she's very comfortable with familiarity. Is that the word? In certain things, I'm not speaking for her, in any kind of way, but I think that's how we're different.
So where have you taken a leap where have you taken a leap where she probably wouldn't have?
Oh, Lord God, I don't know.
A lot of different ways?
I will touch briefly on that.
Okay.
I think religion. I think where I am really into learning about other cultures and learning about different religions. I think she's very comfortable and content with where she is, where I'm like, I'm exploring, I'm like, this may work for the family, but this is not necessarily working for me. I'm like hiding my crystals from my family.
So as you guys can see, even though Tia and Tamera are twins, they are very different people with different beliefs and fundamentals, to say the least. And like I said earlier in the video, two people, even siblings, can be very different and have different beliefs and fundamentals. However, some people, if it's too different, they just won't get along, and it'll cause natural division. And it seems like, unfortunately, that is probably what is happening here with Tia and Tamera, because from what I gather, it seems like Tia feels often judged by Tamera, because Tamera is more traditional and conventional in how she lives her life and how she raises her family, in comparison of Tia being more liberal. And even though Tamera means the best, maybe it just comes off as judgmental because their point of views and lifestyles are just too different. And that may cause Tia to get offensive because she doesn't like the fact that she feels judged by her sister. So maybe they just completely stopped communication to avoid confrontation. But regardless of the fact, it's still incredibly sad to see siblings who used to be so close, especially who have children who are cousins, to have grown distant, because that can affect not only them, but it can also affect the whole entire family dynamic, including the relationship between their children. So I hope that they can work it out for the sake of everyone involved in the family. Anyways, leave your comments and opinions about the video down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.